They don't want Kevin Williams to put his hands on the opening kick. It is received, fair caught, back at the 26-yard line by Casey Greer. Gino Torretta, who has been the long ball for Miami since he took over as the starting quarterback, and his only loss was at Florida State in 1989. But he does throw the ball down the field, and he throws it to burners like Copeland, Spencer, and Thomas, and Williams when he's in there. And Coleman Bell, the tight end, is a new name that you probably haven't seen before if you're in a different part of the country than the South. So here's your first play of the ball game. The Miami Hurricanes from the 26. The ball is swung out to McGuire. He's got some room to work. And the big guy from Brooklyn is all the way out to the 40-yard line, and it's a first down for Miami, a pickup of 14 yards. They do stretch you laterally. The big people up front to protect Torretta today, and they must protect Torretta today if the Canes are to win this ball game. Kevin Williams checks into the backfield. Number 5. You want to know where he is at all times. He's now in motion. No backs in the backfield. Torretta back to throw it. He's got Williams over the middle. It's off his hands, thrown too hard. A penalty flag is thrown meantime as Florida State is going to be dinged for roughing the quarterback. It is on the Florida State side of the field now, and McGuire is back in there at the running back position and has the ball and has daylight. He has a big gain. He's inside the 15, first down for Miami. Florida State's people just overran the play, and all of a sudden it opened up.
Take a look from the end zone. It's just a stretch play. FSU overruns it with their linebacker. Some good blocks there by Searcy. The safety, Fowler, number 3, comes up too quickly. And Miami, who has not run the ball that well all year, starts out very well in the first drive.
First down, yet just inside the 15-yard line for the Canes. Give it back to McGuire, and he'll pick up a couple of yards, and that's all. The defense of Florida State being tested right now. Ostrozewski, Cheney, Simpson listed as the 3 down, but actually they play a 4-man and sometimes a 5-man front with Palmer and Simpson going down. Marvin Jones, the linebacker, is the leader of that big bunch. Terrell Buckley has been scintillating in the secondary at the corner position for Florida State. They give him a couple of yards on the carry. McGuire has picked up 31 yards so far in this first possession. Torretta rolls it out, goes to the sidelines, and goes out of bounds at just about the line of scrimmage, which would be the 13-yard line. Backfield for Miami. Spencer goes up into a slot as a wide receiver, and again Williams goes in motion. No backs behind Torretta. Got some room, takes off for the corner, won't get there. Penalty flag, they've thrown the flag again as Torretta was hit, having crossed the line. That's a pretty narrow call that time, I thought, because the defender was coming up in a hurry and committed himself, trying to keep him out of the corner of the end zone. But it's a personal foul call against Florida State. Second time it's been called in this possession.
An extra dimension for Miami. You've got 4 receivers out. Everyone is covered. Torretta, with his ability, doesn't scramble a lot. Clearly out of bounds when the man makes the play. It's Fowler hitting him out of bounds, and the official right there throwing the flag.
Pretty hard to stop midair.
It is. It's tough to stop your momentum, but you've got to be alert that the quarterback may run out of bounds, and you've got to be ready to pull up.
They're now trying to determine exactly where it was. Gino went out of bounds. It's going to be around the 2. 157 consecutive extra points. It was broken in the Oklahoma State game. He's just calmly walked in after missing another one and popped this one through. Back there with him is Felix Harris, number 24. Huerta will kick it off for Miami. Seminoles need to respond now as the Hurricanes have gone down and scored in their first possession. They got some help from the Noles. This is at the 2-yard line for Harris. And he's out near the 24 where he is taken down. So Casey Weldon coming to the ball yard today with a case of laryngitis. But the numbers down at the bottom tell you something about it. Only 6 interceptions versus 21 touchdowns. He is the leader of this offensive unit. Amp Lee, the tailback, can be brilliant. One of the slipperiest running backs anywhere. Edgar Bennett, the solid man. The wideouts are all pretty good. Lonnie Johnson, a very dependable tight end. So here come the Noles with their first play of this day. And it is an historic day for them. This is the first time they've ever been involved in a game involving 1 and 2. Amp Lee. That's what I mean. He is a very, very difficult fella to get a hold of. There ain't no handles on him. Herbert James brought him down. Here's the offensive front for Florida State. Now, they run about 271-pound average. That's about 13 pounds heavier than the defensive front of the Miami Hurricanes. Kevin Mancini has come off of a torn ligament to regain the starting position, with Mike Morris going from tackle back to guard, his normal position. First down on the first play of the game for the Seminoles. Ball is just over the 35. It goes back to Amp Lee, and this time Miami's quickness shows up, and there's a loss of about a yard. Medeiros and Miller in on the tackle. The defensive unit for Miami features Rusty Medeiros, who is their best pass rusher. Darren Smith, an honor-seeking linebacker inside. Really a tough guy. He's the anchor. The secondary for the Canes is a good one. They're all relatively equal ability. The one thing that distinguishes them, they can run. I guess you can't play football at Miami if you can't run. Weldon gives it back to Lee. That little quickness, that little juke, that little step. And you got a penalty flag thrown back up the field with a couple of fellas getting into a bit of a scuffle. Kevin Patrick, 86, defensive end for Miami. One of those involved, along with Robbie Baker, I think it was. Dale Phillips now, the referee. Looks like he might be in for a busy day, at least until such time emotion subsides just a little bit. They're talking to Michael Barrow, number 56, the linebacker. The penalty is going against the Seminoles.
So look at Rusty Medeiros, 98. It's Mancini, number 67.
Whoa, 3-yard line. That's the third flag against Florida State in this ballgame. Here comes Amp Lee up the middle. Edgar Bennett up the middle with it. Edgar's a 6'1", 210-pound senior from Jacksonville. Very, very good pass receiver, and he works in that short zone where the linebackers hang out.
Darren Smith, number 45, the best player defensively on the Miami team. Came in with a little bit of a hip problem. Strained hip, stays his ground, fights off the blocker. Not many people can bring Amp Lee down, but Darren Smith just did one-on-one.
Third down. They need 20. Blitz comes. Weldon stands in. Got a lot of green in front of him. Pulls it down and takes off. He won't pick up his first down. He gets it back to about the original line of scrimmage, the 36-yard line. Now the Seminoles are going to have to punt it away. And the man who will be called upon to do that is Scott Player. He hasn't had a real big year. He's averaging right at 39 yards per kick, and he sometimes is prone to kick it low on a line drive. And if you kick a low line drive, and you got this fellow standing back there waiting for it, I mean, it's grab the China.
Well, Bowden kicked away from him on the kickoff. Let's see what they do on the punts.
Well, he tried to kick it away from him. Williams goes back at the 20, takes it on the bounce. First man missed him. Second man missed him. Third man gets a hold of him, and now 3 more take him down. It's a 45-yard punt, and it's an 8-yard return with 10:03 to go in the first quarter. Here comes Miami now. Trips to the bottom of the screen. 3 wideouts. Kevin Williams is in the backfield behind Torretta. Now they got 4 wideouts, but all can fly, and Torretta back to throw it. He goes for Williams. He's got double coverage. He drops the football. It was on his hands, and he slams his hand down on the ground frustrated he didn't make the catch because the ball was there.
He had the linebacker coverage, just what he wanted. Take a look at the Hurricane quick strike offense this year. It's just unbelievable. 35 of their drives have taken less than 3 minutes. And you can see there the number of drives have taken less than 2 minutes and 1 minute. The first drive took 1 minute and 53 seconds to score, and here's how they've done this year in the first quarter.
McGuire checks into the backfield behind Coretta now. They stay in that trip to the bottom of the picture, swing it out to McGuire. He's out there one-on-one. Little quick move, and he got around the defender and picked up something out of nothing, really. He just stepped right by number 89, Howard Dinkins.
When that back motion's out of the backfield, Keith, that they call it a no back, he's getting Dinkins, a linebacker, or the inside linebacker, Carruthers or Jones, the covering. Miami will take that matchup all day long.
Spencer leaves. Williams back. Williams is in there next to the ball, or among the wideouts. He's the closest to the ball. Coretta getting pressure, and they've got him. 45, Kirk Carruthers, their first blitz of the day, and it pays big dividends.
Carruthers right up the middle. The center tries to get over there. It's just a miscommunication. He bumps him for a second. Coretta obviously thought that the man was going to be blocked. Two men were blocking one defensive man, and Carruthers came free.
Paul Snyder, whose average is just under 40, punts it out of there, gets good spin on it, gets good carry on it to Terrell Buckley. Buckley's got a little room. And this is up to the 41-yard line. 47-0. Seminoles have made a lot of mistakes here in this first quarter. They've been the tighter team. Casey Weldon gets a little pressure, gets the pass away. The pass is incomplete. It is overthrown, and there was solid coverage by Miami's Ryan McNeil on Shannon Baker. Shannon Baker, number 1, is the flyer out of the wide receiver position for the Seminoles.
Keith, you mentioned that Florida State has been the tighter team. I think that's a good point, and one of the reasons may not be obvious, may be a contradiction, because playing at home in front of your own fans, sometimes you can be a little tight because everybody expects you to do so well. Miami, on the other hand, knows they're here by themselves, just the players. They can be freewheeling and be loose, and they've jumped out in front.
They show blitz. Armstead started trying to anticipate, now has to withdraw, but he's still going to go, and they run empty up the middle. When you blitz, you leave some daylight behind where the linebackers normally work. Early Brown and Darrell Williams, the safeties, have to step up and occupy the territory. They're close to a first down on Lee's carry.
But one of the things that Bobby Bowden said coming into the ball game is that Miami blitzed more last year against the Seminoles than he's seen them, and they've continued that defensive strategy this year. He said when Jimmy Johnson was at Miami, he never would blitz.
It is 3rd down and 1.
Casey, he has not lost in 15 starts. Started at the middle of last year and has won every ball game.
Working today with a sore throat. Mild case of laryngitis. Pitch it to Lee. Penalty flag is down. Came from the umpire. Could be a holding call. Hang on. That is a first down. Good run by Lee. Good blocking by the front, but he may come back. Holding. That is the 4th major penalty by Florida State.
Mancini, 67.
Well, he's been out now. He had the sore knee and the torn ligament. He's had a remarkable recovery, but he's not game sharp.
There was some question, a lot of question, as to whether or not he would play, even dress for this ball game. He is their biggest offensive lineman, and that was a very big penalty. Goes from a first down back to a 3rd and long.
The ball was sitting over right around the Miami 40-yard line. So it goes from first down to 3rd down and 14. Here because remember the rules this year, you are penalized from the point of the foul on holding and clipping. So let's see if Casey Weldon will air it out here. He's got 3 wideouts. Yep. Good coverage too, but he lets it go. And it is incomplete. There's your flag. You had double coverage back there with Hurley Brown and Ryan McNeil, and they did a pretty good job on Shannon Baker, and the back judge watched it for a while and finally said, well, nah, that's a little too much, and he threw the flag. So a penalty call against Miami now is going to help Florida State keep the football.
We have pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
The Hurricanes are in a 2-deep zone. And Baker is just going to get deep on the inside safety. That's Brown. He's going to knock him right here. He's going to knock him off. He falls into him. It's a good call by Bowden because 3rd and 15, you want to get it downfield, give yourself a chance. Dennis Erickson doesn't like it, but it's a first down for the Seminoles.
At the Miami 48-yard line. Miami leading in the ball game off their opening possession, 7-0. This is the 4th time Miami has been involved in a football game involving number 1 and 2. It is the first time for Florida State. Casey Weldon rolls out to get a little more room, a little more time, runs out of time. Armstead, number 1, was blocked, bounced up from it, and joined Rusty Medeiros to make the tackle on the Florida State quarterback. Monday night ABC Sports offers 2nd down and 15. Weldon goes the other way, gets his pass off. He's got Amp Lee down there. He's got it inside the 5. Hurley Brown stopped the touchdown, but it's 1st and goal to go, Florida State.
Amp Lee was flanked outside the split receiver. The split receiver went down and ran about a 10-yard curl, and Lee kept going. Weldon rolls out to get a little bit more time to throw, takes a hit by Crime. The ball is delivered, and it's a great throw considering under the pressure he was under.
That is the longest pass completion against the Miami Hurricanes this season. 51 yards. 1st down and goal to go. Florida State at the 2.
Miami has not allowed a touchdown in the first half this year. That's what Florida State has done inside the 20.
Lee with the ball. Great play by Hurley Brown, the strong safety. Number 8. Came flying in and just made a terrific defensive play.
You're seeing some of the reasons why they haven't given up a touchdown in the first half. Speed is number 1, but quickness, aggressiveness off the line and getting across the line of scrimmage and into the offense's area, territory, side of the line of scrimmage is one of the reasons why Erickson's team has not given up a touchdown in the first half.
Let's see if they stay with a power I set.
Bobby wants a timeout.
Call it. Casey Weldon stands up to throw it. Now gets it off, and it is incomplete. He just sort of threw that one away. It was in the general vicinity of Kes McCorvey. Now it is 3rd down and goal for Florida State. Florida State's place-kicking field goal unit has sort of been by committee this year. It has not been a particularly outstanding facet of the team.
Well, it was really the only weakness on the team earlier in the year, but now they've got a field goal kicker, Thomas, that has had some success making 5 of the last 6 field goals. But they're not thinking field goal here. They want a touchdown.
3rd and goal from the 7. Pressure coming backside. Weldon throws it back the other way. Dropped by Lonnie Johnson, the tight end. The ball was underthrown as Weldon turned back to let the ball go. Kevin Patrick was just right in his face, and the pass was a little bit short.
Well, you know, Bobby Bowden has barnyard plays, and that may have been a half a barnyard play, but what it says is he didn't have anything better on third down to get the ball into the end zone this early in the ball game. It makes you wonder about his offense inside the 5-yard line against the Hurricanes.
25-yard field goal try by Jerry Thomas is good. And so the Seminoles will get it on the board. 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. It is now Miami 7 and Florida State. You just can't, you don't have time against that kind of speed and quickness. That's a high hanger, yard line. Torretta gives it to McGuire. McGuire gets away again. There's a penalty flag thrown, and the Seminoles run him down and take him down at the 17-yard line. There are flags all over the place. When emotion is as high as it has been for some time for this game, you're going to get a lot of flags thrown very often.
But by now, the players should have calmed down a little bit. They've both been in a couple of times.
We have holding on the offense. 10 yards.
Let's check in with Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, our first major injury of importance, number 55, Marvin Jones, won't be back on defense at least for the remainder of this quarter. He was poked in the eye. He's got blurred vision. They've taken him to the locker room. They're icing it down and washing it out. They do hope to have him back in the second quarter.
Whoa. That is a major, major loss for the Florida State defense. That puts Ken Alexander, 240-pound sophomore from Austin, Texas, in that position. They accept the penalty, move it back to first down and 22. And Larry Jones, the big guy, is in there for Miami. He is a load. Torretta stands up on the fake, throws to Coleman Bell, number 17. He's a 6'2", 225-pound flyer, masquerading as a tight end.
He's caught 9 balls in the last 2 ball games, so he's on a roll. The Hurricanes have won the last 7 meetings against a number 1 ranked team. That is pretty special. The Canes come in here very confident.
Flag again, and it's coming back, and I think this one is a personal foul, so Miami now is getting into the personal foul gig. Florida had 2 called against them, Florida State did, in the first possession by Miami, and now the Canes are going to get 1.
We have a personal foul. That's half the distance. Still be first down.
So that first down will be 23 yards now as the ball comes on back inside the 5 to the 4. Jones, that big 245-pound running back with the ball, comes out across the 10. All at the 11. So he picks up 7 yards on the carry at 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Larry Jones will play a lot before he is finished. He is a freshman. He is from Gainesville, where the Gators live. Second down and 20. Torretta moves him around. Probably changed the play. Pumps it, lets it go. No good. He threw it on a line intended for Horace Copeland, and Horace could not turn back in and run it down. It'll be third down and 20.
So trying to do is work on Terrell Buckley. Here's Buckley right here. You may remember him. He's intercepted 3 touchdowns and run him back, or 3 interceptions and run him back. It's a little out and up. They're trying to get him a little fake, a little hitch right there. Buckley reacts and then jams the receiver. It's all right in college as long as the ball is not in the air. Trying to get something big on Buckley.
Convert here or give it up. No blitz. Torretta lets it go down the middle of the field. It is incomplete. Copeland running with John Davis. They got a little tangled up, but no flag. And Miami now will have to punt. Florida State should get pretty good field position out of this. Buckley will go back to accept the punt from Paul Snyder. Snyder's first kick today was a 45-yarder. Buckley has great speed. High kick. What a knuckling. Fair catch called by Buckley, but the ball is kicked well away from him, and it trickles away and goes out of bounds at the 43-yard line. It was a 46-yard punt. At the conclusion of today's game, a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team will check in at wide positions for the Seminoles.
Florida State has done on first down 1 pass out of 5 plays.
Weldon is 1 out of 4 for 51 yards. The completion to Amp Lee. I remember Fryer showed up big in the Syracuse game last time we were here. What a big day. Upman, Bennett. He gets a pretty good greeting from Patrick Riley.
Bennett on the carry. Patrick Riley makes the stop for the Hurricanes.
Time remaining first quarter now, and even 3 minutes.
Riley, who made that tackle, a true freshman. The Hurricanes really do not have any big defensive tackles in the middle of that line. That's why Florida State likes to take advantage running up the middle. They don't have the big linemen that they used to have. Russell Maryland, Cortez Kennedy, Jerome Brown, all first-round draft choices who have since gone on to play in the National Football League.
Second down, 11. Weldon gets it off. They've got a screen set up for Amp Lee, they thought, but Michael Barrow just came like a runaway wagon and belted him. He went right between the blockers and nailed him at the 44-yard line.
Well, you heard Michael Barrow on the beginning of the telecast saying that he was going to try and be right with Amp Lee the entire ball game, and he certainly was on that screenplay.
It'll be third down and about 14 now, as we go inside 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. They've just about quit their dancing now. They're starting to lay some licks on each other. Settling down to play the game. Pressure on. Passes away quickly to Terrell, but he's got no place to go because the blockers never got to him to help him. And so as a result, it is fourth down. Florida State has a very poor possession for them. Good one, however, for the Canes because their defensive people were really flying around. Again, Scott Flair has to kick to Kevin Williams. He hasn't yet. Williams came over and ran it down. This time he aims it right at him and lets it go, and it's a tail dragger that takes a sharp kick out of bounds up at the 22-yard line. So at 1:03 to go in the first quarter, the Florida State Seminoles give it up to Miami at the 22. 35 yards on that punt with no return. Dennis Erickson, talking earlier this week, was asked, is it easier to be number 2 chasing number 1? He said,
we play regardless of whether we're 1 or 2 or 3. They take their best shots at us as we get to this game. Now it doesn't make any difference.
Pass intended for Darrell Spencer is incomplete. Off his hands, up the middle. Again, they send those fellas right into the middle, trying to force Florida State to cover him with a linebacker.
Well, Spencer could have caught that ball. He saw some defensive backs coming and decided that he was going to look at them and not the ball, and actually could have caught it.
Both quarterbacks off to a relatively slow start. Torretta now is 2 of 7 for 19 yards. Florida State, in case you don't know it, has been ranked number 1 the entire season. Been on top all year. This is the big guy. Loses the football. Florida State recovers the fumble. They stripped it away from McGuire. Ostazuski covered it.
It's just a draw play. Jones thinks he's got a nice hole. Ostazuski, 75, spins around and knocks the ball out. A nice play, ground level. Ostazuski, number 75, spins out.
That's Joe.
Jones doesn't even see him. Jones thought he had a clear sailing through the interior line.
Joe Ostarzewski knocked it out. Henry Ostarzewski recovered it.
That's a
Big twin
The
brother.
Twins, yeah.
290 each. Florida State has the football, making a break for themselves at the Miami 24. Casey Weldon back. Gets his pass off down the middle. It is caught inside the 5-yard line by Edgar Bennett. I told you he was a great pass receiver down where the heavy hitters work. And there's a good example of what he can do for you.
Well, here's what they like to do. Bennett is here. They're going to slide him right down the middle of the field. The two safeties will split. Play action to the deep man helps hold the linebackers. Bennett slides down. That's probably as well as that play has been covered most of the year. The two safeties of Miami react well. Bennett, an outstanding receiver.
And it's first down and goal to go just inside the 5. With Amp Lee and Edgar Bennett setting up in the backfield, but now they take off their hats and they'll rest as Florida State talks timeout. And we'll pause 5 seconds right here to allow our ABC station. Catching has been the more obvious and more prominent success story for him.
Number 1 in the nation against the scoring, gets points.
Florida State trying to change that right here on first down and goal just in the 5, inside the 5. It's Amp Lee to the 2. Picked up 3 yards on the carry. So he had a pretty good sized hole over the left side, but he never really got his shoulders turned and his head turned toward the goal line.
Well, that's the problem running sideways when the defense is so aggressive across the line of scrimmage. You may have a hole for a second, but there's always going to be a linebacker or a defensive back to fill it.
Paul Moore, number 32, and Sean Jackson, 35. Florida State, second down and goal. Second major threat they've had. Trying for the lead right here. Give it inside to the big guy, Paul Moore, our senior fullback at 240 pounds, and he has the ball just inside the 2-yard line. Picked up about a yard or so on the carry. Now, it is third down and goal.
Keith, Florida State got this ball on a turnover. Miami has turned the ball over 19 times previously to this ball game, and the defense has not allowed the opposing team to take that ball in for a score. 17 of the 19 times the defense has stopped them. 2 times they've allowed field goals.
Florida State now gets a second tight end, Hart, into the game. Weldon gives it off to the big man up front, Moore, the fullback, and he's not there. He's a half a yard short of the goal line, and it is fourth down.
Bowden feels content with just trying to run the ball inside of those, inside of the defensive line. With two tackles, not very heavy, 248 and 255. You got to go for it here, I would think.
Yep, I would say it's time to get some kind of judgment. Got to find out something. Ball is at the 1. Back into the ball, resting at the 1-yard hash mark. Fourth down. Fullback touchdown, Paul Moore.
Straight ahead, give it to the first man. The tight end on the far side got a good block.
Jerry Thomas now on the field for the extra point try. Ricocheted through. Somebody hit that ball, and I think it bounced off one of the Seminoles and bounced through.
Tight end. It's Hart, or Johnson, 85, the block on Golden. There's the crease you need. Went a little bit wider, got the touchdown.
Show me that extra. And they'll kick it away to Miami. Number 5 is Williams, 35 Spencer. And Williams Williams in particular is terrified when he's got that ball, and they don't want to kick it to him. They'll give up yardage and let him have the ball all the way out on the 32-yard line. ABC's college football will have regional action for you following this matchup. Number 1 and 2, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan at Illinois, Oregon, UCLA out on the coast. And all of those teams are bowl teams, or at least potential. This is Miami's best starting field position of the ball game. Best point in which to start the possession. And Kevin Williams is in the backfield now going in motion. No back. Little quick pop to Spencer, and Spencer picks up a first down for Miami at the 44-yard line. They make you do everything defensively. They spread you out, they stretch you, they try this, they try that. They just, if you don't stay alert, they'll just eat you alive.
Well, when they did go no back, then Florida State moved up and blitzed on the outside. Torretta saw it and popped the receiver, Spencer, right where the linebacker left.
McGuire, 47-yard line on the carry. 3-yard pickup. We're in the second quarter of play. Florida State leads Miami 10-7. Miami scored in its very first possession of the ball game, helped considerably by 2 personal foul penalties by the Seminoles. Florida State's first effort at scoring wound up in a field goal. They scored the touchdown on a 4th down from the 1. First time this year that Miami has given a touchdown in the first half. Torretta's pass misses Williams. Gino Torretta from Pinole, California. Brother Jeff is also a quarterback at Miami. That's right, Pinole, California. As far as you can travel and play college football. They have 4 wideouts working here. Got a penalty flag. 12 and a half, close to 13. No back. Here they go like a covey of quail, but the blitz is on, and you got a face mask call coming up against the Seminoles. And for all the world, I think Carl Simpson, as he came blitzing in. 12:10 to go in the first half. Florida State's ball at their own 23-yard line. First down. Weldon quickly comes outside with it to Kevin Knox. And Knox is across the 35 to the 36 and a first down. And here's Roger Twyble. Here, Roger, at the 36-yard line. First down, Florida State. Bennett and Lee behind Weldon.
5-man defensive line, Keith.
Coming. Good blocking by the Seminoles. The pass is incomplete. The pass intended for 85, Lonnie Johnson. And he was available.
Hurricanes took out a defensive back, slid in a 5th defensive lineman. Sonny Lubick, the defensive coordinator, will do that occasionally when he thinks that the Seminoles are trying and run the football.
It'll be second down and 10 from the 36-yard line. These people know how to do that. The tomahawk chop.
Well, they originated, didn't they?
That's right. It's theirs.
It all came from here. Blitz.
Lee. And Armstead makes a good play. Jesse Armstead is a 220-pound junior from Dallas. And he made a fine play there to stop Amp Lee because Amp had some room.
Well, what Miami is trying to do, 5 defensive linemen on the first down. Here are the linebackers. Watch these 2 linebackers as they're blitzing right through the center guard gaps. The toss is wide. Now the strong safety. Brown, 8, gets up, gets a piece of the tackle. Want to stop the run, take the run away from him, and force him to throw the football. You don't want to give him the run and the pass.
Third down and 9. Number 76, Mark Caesar, 290-pound junior, Newark, New Jersey, makes that big play, and it'll be punting time for Florida State.
A good play by Caesar. He lost his helmet in the process, but that was really a coverage sack. There was nobody open downfield. Weldon had to hold it, and Caesar was there.
So at 10:50 to go in the first half, Florida State will punt it. Williams waits. That player, no pressure on him. He kicks it away from Kevin Williams, and good kick. That's knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line. He kicked it across the field, all the way across, because he did not doubt that thing in Kevin Williams' hand. It's a 38-yard punt and no return. Tonight, after the games are over, stay tuned with ABC for a great Saturday night. Angela and Tony getting close to getting hitched on Who's the Boss, followed by Growing Pains. Then after the Young Riders, the Commish. Tonight, all here on ABC. Here comes Miami. First down at the 31. Williams. Kevin Williams gets 8.
That play, the reverse, has worked well for Miami most of the year with the speed of Williams, but Florida State has a great deal of speed also, and they caught up with him. One of them was Marvin Jones, the inside linebacker who had a blurred vision, was poked in the eye, is back in the ball game, obviously.
Second down and 2 for the Canes. Ball is at the 39. McGuire will be close to the first down.
Stephen McGuire on the third.
Take a look at the first half possessions. Miami took the opening kickoff and went for a touchdown in 7 plays, and since then, the 4 drives since then, they have not made a first down.
They're bringing the change to measure. Dale Phillips, we told you, the referee. The umpire, Carl Crowley. Lee Reuter is the head linesman. First down. Billy Smith, field judge. Line judge, Ed Jackson. Carter Lohr, the side judge. And Virgil Valdez, the back judge.
Keith, it's a low-scoring game. The defenses, it may look as though the coaches are conservative, but I think it's the impressiveness of the speed and quickness of the defense that's really muzzling the offense.
McGuire. That's a good move by McGuire, boy. That's a tough, tough run by the big guy from Brooklyn.
Boy, you got that right. A couple of jukes in the backfield. It was almost a 4-yard loss. Big run. Here it is from the other side. That's Dinkins, 89, an outstanding linebacker. And then he just runs through some people. Big play.
McGuire out, Jones in. First down for the Canes. The ball now on the Seminole side of the field. Look at Jones. Terrell Buckley finally gets him out. Jones, a 245-pounder. He shows his straightaway speed there. He just put his head down and headed for the sideline.
Jones is getting some playing time, Keith, because of the suspension to Martin Patton, who has started actually at that remaining back position the last 2 ball games.
Another first down just inside the Florida State 30. Loretta changes the play. Passes away. Intercepted. Intercepted at the 12-yard line by Terrell Buckley.
Buckley is going to be off to our far right here as we take a look at it. Gino is throwing it to some other receiver, not the man that Buckley is covering. But Buckley, with his great vision, 10th reception right here. Buckley's going to go. He's trying to throw the man that's going to be hooking into this area. Now watch as Buckley goes back, has good vision the entire way. The man that he's covering goes straight down. He sees the ball, dives back for it. 10th interception of the year. He leads the nation in interceptions.
19th in his career. First down, Florida State, as they stop the Canes on the turnover. Up the middle goes Ant Lee. And he's to the 16. Darrell Williams, the free safety, and Darren Smith, the strong side linebacker. Bring him down.
You know, for a career, Keith, you mentioned he's had 19, I think, and he's averaged 25 yards per return when he's intercepted a pass.
He has a huge play, his second play of the game against Michigan. This is Lee, searching. Ain't no treasure at the end of that hunt. Rusty Medeiros jumped him. Kind of interesting in the rushing yards. Miami's run for 74. Florida State, on the other hand, only 23.
Rusty Medeiros, 98, and Mancini, 67, the battle up front. It's a good job by Medeiros, just fighting off, going down the line of scrimmage, waiting for the runner to come to him.
Loss on the play of a yard. 3rd down and 7 for the Noles. This is Edgar Bennett. He's short of his first down. Florida State is now 0 for 6. 3rd down conversions. Mancini's hurt.
Shot of Buckley. You know, Keith, he is number 2 all time in career interception return yards. That is quite a feat for only 19 interceptions.
Kevin Mancini is the man bent over out there, and they're looking at that sore knee.
Yep.
He has come back remarkably from a knee injury. He may have to leave the ball game, and if they do, then Mike Morris will move over to the tackle position, and Patrick McNeil will move in at the guard position. Game summary reflected there. Ant Lee, his total yardage, most of that comes from that 51-yard pass reception that he had, which set up the field goal. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. It is Florida State 10 and Miami 7. Miami scoring in the first possession of the ball game. Since then, Florida State has been able to control it. But the threat is always there. And now Mancini will walk gingerly off the field. He's their biggest guy in the offensive line position at 6'3", 270, a senior out of Brandon, Florida.
And he is their best offensive lineman, Keith. Coming into the year, it's projected to possibly be an All-American candidate. He is injured now. Gave it a go. Bobby Bowden said he didn't know whether he'd be able to start today's game. He has not started the last several ball games.
4th down and 1. They'll have to punt it out of there. It's a low line drive, and it's again kicked away from Kevin Williams. Takes a pretty good roll for Florida State and goes out of bounds at the Miami 34. Here come the Canes again now. After 30 yards, all 3 of his completions have been to running backs. But running backs on the Miami scheme of things are same as wideouts. They're just receivers. Beretta's pass down the middle. It is caught by Spencer. And ball comes out as he goes down, but it'll not be a fumble. He was down at the 46-yard line. The Florida State 46.
That's the first pass caught by a wide receiver for the University of Miami. That's a good call.
McGuire lines up in the backfield. Has the ball going outside. Palmer and Jones put him out of bounds.
Keith, we just got word that Kevin Mancini, the offensive tackle, there you take a look at him, felt something pop in his knee and is off on the sideline moving around on it, but to keep him out for a while. He may be back a little bit later.
6.5 minutes to go in the first half. The ball rests at the 43-yard line of Florida State. It is 2nd down and 7. And Larry Jones is in the backfield. Pressure. They got him. Take him down at the 46. It was Carl Simpson, Jr. from Baxley, Georgia. 3rd sack of Torretta.
The offenses are frustrated. Take a look. They want to get the ball to Williams right here. He's going to go on a shallow line route. Just a quick screen type of thing. Comes in. Now watch the linebacker. Hold it. If you stop it right there, you see the linebacker is all over him. That's the defense. Well-coached defense on these offenses here today.
3rd down and 10. That is 1st down.
Big play there. The Hurricanes needed something positive, something from an area that they don't expect it, and they don't expect Torretta to pick up many 1st downs. Obviously, the Seminoles don't either.
They were involved with 1 the blitz, 2 the coverage, and suddenly the quarterback is uncovered. The 1st down, the ball rests right at the 33-yard line on the Florida State side, and McGuire is back in. Has it. 2 yards. Joe Ostazuski, number 75 at the bottom. The Ostazuski boys are from Boynton Beach. Joe's at 265. Henry's, they list him at 265, but I think Henry's bigger.
How do you know?
He looks bigger.
I saw Papa Ostazuski in the Seminole offices yesterday. He wasn't as big as those 2 guys.
2nd down and 8. Torretta's pass completes to Jones out of the backfield. Pretty good lick there from Abraham, but Jones goes ahead and gets the 1st down for Miami. So the Canes now have got a threat going. 1st down at the Florida State 21.
The defensive play for the Seminoles.
Sebastian Ibis is the last bird to leave before the storm and the first to return. So they say. Nobody's ever really been around to check. That's true.
That's for sure. Nobody with any sense.
Torretta still got it. Ball is slapped out of there on the tip. It is intercepted. Marvin Jones has the interception, but it was tipped by Richard Coe, number 16. 3 turnovers now by Miami. This one comes at 4:28 to go in the first half.
Bottom of your screen, right between the goalposts. That's Coles, number 16, gets in before the tight end gets the ball. Knocks it up in the air from the right side. Look at this athletic play by this middle linebacker. Jones' vision must be restored. There's a look at Jones dropping back. Sees the ball. Leads his team in tackle.
They take over at the 13-yard line. Casey Weldon has a lot of time. Gets away from it. Now he needs to throw it and get rid of it, and he does. And they're going to give him a catch up at the 30. Warren Hart, 260-pound sophomore.
Well, it's not as the offense is drawing it up, that's for sure. But Casey Weldon is making the plays where Torretta is not. Scrambles, this is just all ad-lib now. This is just ability. Get outside, find somebody, and get the ball to him.
That's Darren Crine, defensive end, sophomore out of Aurora, Colorado, leaving the field for Miami. 1st down, Florida State, just beyond their own 30. Weldon, 6 for 10 now at 103 yards. Most people consider Weldon and Desmond Howard of Michigan, your prime Heisman candidates at this point of the season. Weldon with a major showcase this week. Desmond Howard gets his next week when Michigan plays Ohio State here on ABC Sports. On first down, Weldon keeps it, throws it quickly. Pass caught by Knox and picked up 6 yards. Here's Roger again.
Thank you very much, Keith. At Ohio State, Indiana missed a field goal attempt, and the Buckeyes' Carlos Snow from 6 yards out will take it up the middle for the touchdown. 26 of the 32 Ohio State touchdowns this year have been on the ground. They lead at 10-6, second quarter. Let's go back to Keith and Bob in Tallahassee.
All right, Roger, one of the things that's happening here for Weldon, Casey Weldon holds the ball a long time. So as a result, virtually every time he throws a pass, he's getting decked. Like that. Pass is away, intercepted by Charles Farms. And Miami's cooking at the 40-yard line of Florida State. That was a pass that had something taken off of it when Medeiros hit Weldon.
Pressure is going to come from the left side of the screen as Medeiros will get there right there, takes a little bit off of it, forces the ball to hang. Farms sees it. The ball was not on target. That's the 4th turnover of the ball game and the first one for the Hurricanes.
And it's first down Canes at the Seminole 40 with 3:49 to play, and McGuire lines up behind Coretta. He's got the ball. And he goes down pretty much on the line of scrimmage because he had a collision with Marvin Jones. Marvin's big brother Fred was quite a linebacker here at Florida State himself.
You know, Marvin Jones led this team in tackles last year, is right there again this year, was a third-team All-American choice last year as a true freshman. This young man is a sophomore. He's one of the finalists for the Butkus Award as a sophomore, the only sophomore ever to be a finalist. And he deserves being in that group.
This timeout charge to Florida. And the ball at the 40. They try the ground game again, this time with Larry Jones. And they'll get a couple of yards out of it, up to about the 38. Defense has dominated this first half. Put it on the 39-yard line, not the 38. And call it third down and 9. Three wideouts, 3 DBs go with them. Penalty flag. The receiver. What the quarterbacks have done so far. The ball rests at the 29-yard line. It is a first down. Larry Jones is in the backfield for Miami. He's got it. Cuts it back into the middle. And there's a whole lot of folks bumping heads with him. You've got your 5 defensive backs in there. Jones came out. Ball hit the umpire. The pass struck the umpire. He's just part of the equipment. And it's third down and 8.
Pass is intended for number 17, Coleman Bell.
Of course, he's got that lump on him. He doesn't feel like part of the equipment.
There he is here, trying to get the ball to the receiver that's going to come out. Watches the official. This is just the quarterback's fault as much as anything. You've got to see the DBs, but you also have got to see ahead of the receiver. I mean, you may have been blocked out by the offensive lineman. Could have hit him in the face, and that may be part of the problem.
Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to catch some of these balls that these big old strong-arm quarterbacks. You know, at my age, one time I foolishly down in the Bahamas tried to catch one from Joe Theismann, and he put the cross on me for a month. I mean, it just they'll knock you down with it if you're not used to catching it. So we've got timeout for the shaken official as a result of being struck with a pass.
The umpire is not looking at.
No, he doesn't see the ball at all.
He's looking at the line.
Yep. Time. Stephen McGuire checks back in. 3rd down and 8 for the Canes. Coretta back. Pressure coming. Runs away from it. Gets his pass off. The pass is complete. Hard hit on Lamar Thomas, seeing the ball for the first time today, but the ball flies out of bounds. And Miami has a first down deep in Florida State territory.
He's going to release to the inside, and the DB is going to jam him inside. That's Buckley. Now Buckley sees that Torretta is sprinting out to the outside. A very good throw by Torretta over Buckley. Thomas fumbles it, but it goes out of bounds.
And it's first down Miami at the Florida State 13. Torretta throws it. Same man, Bell, that he's been looking at all day, and occasionally gives him the ball, and Coleman Bell is a dynamite receiver.
Bell is number 17. It'll be a play action fake. That's a slow block. He blocks the man for a while. Hopefully the man covering him will slide back to the inside. This time the Seminoles play it pretty well defensively.
Time remaining in the first half is now 1:25. And Miami is knocking on the door, trying to regain the lead as we come to halftime.
In the second quarter, Syracuse 10, Boston College 10.
Miami is charged with this. Crowd comes up a little bit here now, trying to get involved in it. Back goes Torretta, looks for Williams. Penalty flag as he pulls the ball down. He's taken down at about the 9, but let's see about the penalty. Ball comes back to the 23. Torretta's got some room, starts to run, knocked off his stride, and will pick up some. Taken down at the 16. 3rd and 13. From the 16. Blitz. Right call, right time, right place. The loss is back outside to the 24-yard line, and it was Podrick McIntosh.
Here's the linebacker here, Carruthers. He's going to attract all of the attention, but the man that actually gets in there is the man next to him. Everybody jumps on Carruthers right there, and McIntosh comes free. Now 2 of them block the linebacker. Just a simple game between a linebacker and defensive end.
Carlos Huerta. Block. The Seminoles blocked the field goal try, leaving 11 seconds on the clock. I think it was Sterling Palmer that gets a piece of it.
Somebody gets in between the offensive linemen. Someone jumping down. I can't see. Maybe it was 74. I don't think it's the 2 guys that jump behind the line. I think it's somebody right there in front. 74 looks like Ostaszewski.
Yep, that'll be Henry. And so now the Florida State Seminoles will run it on the ground, and that should put everybody in the clubhouse. As the time ticks away, and at halftime, it is Florida State leading Miami 10-7 in a defensive struggle. Back with the halftime after this message and the word from our ABC station. Carlos Huerta will kick it off for Miami. So this one's still very much up in the air. Number 1, Florida State. Number 2, Miami. And here we go. Ball dropped by Harris. Now he gets out of there. Oh, my goodness. He had a little daylight to go, and you know who tripped him up? Evan Williams.
How embarrassing for the return man, too, after a nice effort.
Jackaroot
Bo Schembechler was right on the money as far as what the conversations in both locker rooms were going to be about. In the case of the University of Miami, that's all Dennis Erickson talked about. But in the Florida State locker room, Bobby Bowden addressed the team at the end and said, gentlemen, here's what we need to do. We need to run 1 yard longer if you're a runner, block a split second quicker if you're a blocker, and we need a big star in the second half.
Well, they have the ball, and they have it out at the 28-yard line. Weldon back. Sack. Third sack in the ball game. It comes from Corwin Francis. Weldon has not yet stood up.
He may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him because he did get hit right in the middle of the back. Here's Corwin Francis down here. As Weldon goes back, he's just going to come around the pile. Kind of a delayed blitz. He stands there for a second, drops back. I guess I circled the wrong guy, but he still gets to the inside. I'm just checking on all you guys out there, making sure you see which one I'm circling, who's blitzing. Right side of the screen, 58, Corwin Francis, backup linebacker.
From the way he was hit, it may well be that he just has had the wind knocked out of him. Brad Johnson will hustle into the game, the big guy at 6'6", 215.
Doesn't look as though anything with his lower legs, his knees or ankles were a problem.
No. Johnson started when Weldon was hurt in the LSU game. The next game, Johnson was the starter. Of course, he was the starter and lost the job to Casey Weldon. He's 6'6", 215. He is a senior. He is from Black Mountain, North Carolina. He has a powerful arm. But he's been sitting on the bench all day, and he didn't take that many snaps during the week in the preparation for this ball game. And they are still talking to and looking at Casey Weldon, the quarterback for Florida State. Now we get some movement. I don't know if you ever had the wind knocked out of you, but it is no fun.
And hopefully that's what it is. Second man in from the bottom right. 58 just comes around the pile, hits him in the middle of the back. He may have fallen on the football, Keith. Sometimes when you go down, you may fall on the football, and that can take the wind out of you very quickly. It looks like that's all it is.
But he's got to come out for one play. That gets a roar from the home folks. And the ball is resting now near the 23-yard line. It'll be second down and 16. And Johnson is in. Here comes the blitz. Ladarius coming around from the back. Johnson puts it in the air on the one play he's got. Gives it to Ant Lee. And Ant Lee runs that football across the 40-yard line to the 42, and it's a first down for Florida State. So Johnson comes into the ball game, and he comes in with a pass play. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, it's good news for the condition of Casey Weldon. He just had the wind knocked out of him, as Bob Greasy said. But what they've told me is they won't let him back in right away unless he can convince them that he's ready to play.
Johnson stays. The ball would mark it at the 41-yard line and first down. Want to put it up again. No, he isn't either. Everybody peeled off and left that great big gaping hole, and he runs it close to a first down.
The advantage of Brad Johnson coming into the ball game. First of all, look at this graphic. They are a big third-quarter team, outscoring their opponents big time. But Johnson there's no pressure on him all week. No pressure on him in the ball game. He's sitting over on the sideline the first half. He knows what the Hurricanes have done. There's no pressure on him. He comes in here, he says, well, you know, I've been a starter here before. I can make plays. Give me a chance.
He picked up 9 yards on that run, second down and 1. And they go to Lee. And he will get the first down at the Miami 46.
First drive of the third quarter. Very big for both sides.
Weldon coming back in. Johnson certainly did his job and gets plaudits from his teammates on the side of the field as Casey steps back into the huddle. Johnson gave him a first down to work with. Weldon 7 of 12 for 109 yards and an interception. Can't get rid of it. Darren Klein, the sophomore from Aurora, Colorado, had walked off earlier in the ball game, beat up, but he comes back and registers sack number 4 on Weldon.
Casey Weldon is content to sit in the pocket a little bit longer than Brad Johnson. Johnson, as you saw just a play earlier, took off and got a few yards upfield.
That's one of the reasons that Casey gets hammered so much, though. He holds the ball so long.
Yep. Well, you make big plays that way, but you'll also get some sacks.
Ball comes all the way back to the Florida State 48. Second down and 16. He runs it back to the 46, which is just about where this possession series or this first down series started. Now he's going to be looking at 3rd and 10. Really haven't seen a lot of gimmicks yet. Semi stuff, but nothing really out.
Just the one quarterback, same play both times. Quarterback rolls to the right, throws back to the left.
Seminoles are 0 for 6 in third down tries, third down conversion. Weldon rolls it out. Pass is away, pass is good. And so they convert for the first time today at the 32-yard line. Kevin Knox makes the catch.
Good play, move the pocket, both backs go with you. Gives you a little bit more time for the receivers to do their thing. Knox gets wide open, comes back to the quarterback. Big first down.
Remember that graphic you saw a few minutes ago? Florida State has been a heavyweight in the third quarter against everybody they've played. Another quick pop. Whoa, he drilled it. And it's caught by McCorvey. And it's a first down in front of Darrell Williams at the 20.
Quick slant. Wide receiver's going to come down, break to the inside. Now the man who makes the play is right here. But Weldon, 3-step drop, sees the receiver on a little slant route. He's catching the tough balls right there. Oh, the play is there a lot, but you need a special receiver that will go in there and catch it.
Is McCorvey, remarkable family. Weldon back, gets his pass away, pass is completed. And it'll go for another first down for Florida State. It looked like McCorvey again, and it was.
There's a reverse angle of it. This play is made by Weldon. Now he should throw. Now it's all bets are off. He gets rid of the ball, avoids the sack. Tell you what, in big games, big-time players come forward and make big plays.
First and goal, Florida State, near the 8-yard line of Miami. Amp Lee slides down. He was going to make a cut toward the boundary, and his feet left him. And there's a loss of 2. This is prescription turf. Lee has only 29 yards today and 11 carries.
He's got a remarkable record over the last few years. 419 attempts coming into the ball game without a turnover. You hand it to that man, you can be sure that you're going to run it again. Here's what Florida State has done inside the 20 today.
Lee again got a block on the corner. Penalty flag is down. Darren Smith wrestles him out of bounds. Let's see about the call. Referee, I think, threw that flag.
Offensive holding, 10-yard penalty.
Florida State continues to shoot itself in the foot.
Tell you, it's tough enough moving down the field against a good defense. And then you start adding holding penalties, clipping penalties. It just makes it that much tougher.
Ball comes back to the 22-yard line.
Right side of the screen. 85 Johnson right there, left hand. Yep, there again.
It'll make it 2nd down and 22. Nope, Bennett. Edgar Bennett. Bennett knocked out by Williams. That ball was snapped, and they almost had a hurricane in the neutral zone, but he got back. And Bennett's marked out inside the 15 near the 14-yard line, so they'll be looking now at 3rd down and 14. Eleven plays, 6.5 minutes so far in the opening possession of the second half. With Florida State leading Miami 10-7. Weldon's pass to the corner. No, he had it on the hands of number 1 Shannon Baker, and he couldn't hold it with Ryan McNeil defending. And it's 4th down.
Take a look at the protection this time for Weldon. Good coverage. Look at this throw. Right where it needs to be. As you do all that, you get the protection, you get the offensive line, you get the quarterback the ball there. The receiver hasn't made the catch.
25-yard field goal, good earlier by Jerry Thomas. Now it's a 31-yard try, and good. 13-7. Florida State now leads by 6. 8:29 to play, 3rd quarter. Nice to see Carlos Snow bouncing back.
It really is, isn't it?
Severe injury.
Yep.
3rd down, call it 5. Pass is complete to Coleman Bell, and Bell's got a 1st down at midfield and just across it for Miami. He has sort of been the money man today. When they've had to have something, they've gone looking for number 17.
Right here is Williams. He started in motion out here into the flat. They forgot about Corwin Bell. He's just going to slide right into the middle of the field. They're paying too much attention to Williams, number 5. He went in motion. Nobody covered the tight end. Good play by Torretta.
McGuire's back in. Has the ball. Good block on the corner. Move it from near midfield down across the 45 to the 44. So it's about a 6-yard pickup with Kirk Carruthers making the tackle. We're still in the 3rd quarter. At 6:45 to go, McGuire on the day, 12 carries and 69 yards. It's closer to 5, so let's call it 2nd down and 5. Goes Spencer on a reverse. Or what some of us old-timers used to call the wing-back counter. Bob Greasy used to run that.
Me. Just too much quickness for Florida State. They see it, recognize it, and run to the point of intersection and get him.
The 3rd down and 2 coming up.
Here's Seminoles, defensive leaders. Three turnovers, and 4 sacks in the 1st half.
This is McGuire for the 1st down. He didn't get there. He is just a little short. They'll undoubtedly want the chains on for this one. They will in a hurry. So that'll stop your clock at 5:56 to play in the third quarter. And the chains come on. Well, I haven't seen anything that would tell me that anything has changed here, except possibly both teams are striving for greater concentration, maybe.
Well,
so far, anyway.
This measurement.
It's short. It's short.
Well, it looks like they're going to go for it, Keith. Dennis Erickson falls on the 40-yard line. Florida State is number 3 in the nation against the run. Miami is way down in rushing statistics. They're not known for the rushing.
They need about a foot. McGuire has it. When you can take him 2 steps outside and then let him turn, and he is a load. He has the first down. The black and white blimp with the killer whale colors, Shamu. Carrying our picture from the sky today. Airship Shamu representing SeaWorld Parks in Orlando, Oro, San Diego, and San Antonio. Drifting through the blue sky of the Panhandle of Florida. Larry Jones in the backfield. First down from the 38-yard line. Loretta turns and throws it. My goodness, they're lucky to get it back. Number 89, Howard Dinkins. They've sort of been picking on Dinkins all day, and that time he almost put 6 on the board for Florida State.
Told you going on, they are a big play defense. They give up some big plays, but they make some big plays also. Gino should never have thrown this ball. Dinkins, that ball is almost a lateral, thrown backwards.
It looks like a lateral.
Almost thrown backwards.
Could have been. It went out of bounds. Kevin Williams lines up in the backfield. It'll be no back after he goes in motion.
Here they come.
Oh, they missed him. But they flush him. And they get him at the 35. Whew. I mean, they had him in their sights, and he just took a little step, and everybody went right by him. But they did flush him.
No backs. Florida State is blitzing no backs. Gino does a nice job of avoiding 3 defensive guys. No way you're going to outrun these guys, Gino. Too fast. Too quick for you. But nobody was open downfield. Bump and run, man-to-man coverage.
Third down and 7 at the 35 of Florida State. Goes inside to McGuire. 1-yard pickup. Marvin Jones hit him just as the ball arrived. It is 4th and 6.
The other linebacker, Kirk Carruthers, was blitzing him right in the face as you see Carlos Huerta in for a field goal attempt.
The ball will be put down just beyond the 41, make it a 51-yard try. He had 1 try tipped today. His long of the season is 47 yards. This is a 51-yarder. I heard whistles before the kick. One of these 2 teams are going to be in that Orange Bowl game, it looks like. Weldon gives the ball to Bennett. Edgar Bennett breaks it on the sidelines, out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Curly Brown got just enough of him. Another first down.
Watch the block on number 1, top left of your screen. That's Amp Lee blocks or Jesse Armstead, and then Mancini gets a good block. Poor tackling on that side by James. Just a good job of blocking and some poor tackling, and a big play for the Seminoles.
So from the 7, they picked up successive first downs, and now they got some room.
Here they come.
Amp Lee blows it up the middle. I mean, you go looking for Amp and you just keep grabbing air. Darrell Williams finally gets a shoulder on him and knocks him out of bounds. But another big play. First down, Florida State, Miami 35-yard line.
Well, the offensive line of Florida State is starting to take over the ball game. Both these linebackers are going to blitz. Watch the offensive line as they pick up the blitz. Nice block by the fullback, Bennett. And then some good run, and Amp Lee does not allow the first man to tackle him. Bennett with 2 good blocks, 2 plays.
Bennett picked up 20 on the previous play. Lee just went for 27. And he's got it again. And he's inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. That's an 8-yard pickup. Give him 7 yards to the 28. Darren Smith, the tackle.
Hurricanes are blitzing again. Left of your screen, top left. That's Barrow, 56. Watch the fullback. Makes him go around. Doesn't get a crushing block, but forced him to go around. Enough room for Lee. It's the thing about these backs, Keith. They'll block for each other. Lee running the ball. Bennett running the ball.
Sean Jackson has come in now to give Amp Lee a little breather. Weldon pumps it, keeps it, takes off. Little quarterback draw going for the first down at the 24-yard line of Miami. The Honda Scholar athlete this week. You see his grade point in Management Information Systems, Reggie Dixon, Florida State University senior offensive guard. He is from Jacksonville. Honda will present a check for $3,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of Florida State University. Michael Barrow is the man shaken up on the field, number 56. Miami into the field. First down, Florida State. Weldon gives it to Jackson. Not a whole lot there for that one. He was a little late getting started, and by then Eric Miller had him in sight and got him.
Well, we thought that Florida State would try to run inside, and that's what they've done on this drive, especially at the Hurricanes.
13-7, Florida State leading at 1:40 to go in the third quarter. Pace of the game quite deliberate. Defense is dominating. Weldon's pass is good. Edgar Bennett, number 22, gets down to the 10-yard line. He's got a first down. I don't know which side of the 10 they're going to mark it. But Edgar Bennett comes up with another big play. Georgia Tech said to be headed for possibly the Aloha Bowl. Winning their game. They have to win one more because one of their victories coming in here was against Furman. Furman is a 1AA team. Jackson is out. Amp Lee is back. The ball is squarely on the 10. And it's first and goal. Lee looking around. By then, school's out. Jesse Armstead's in the neighborhood. You get one glance, that's it.
Yep, that's right. The Miami linebackers have been banged up a little bit. Armstead popped the shoulder a little bit earlier. Michael Barrow, we just heard, twisted his left ankle and has been cleared to come back into the ball game.
And we're headed toward a half a minute to go in the third quarter. Eric Terrell, number 7 now. You're going to see him at the top of your picture. Weldon looked at him, came back into the middle to his tight end, Lonnie Johnson, and hit him on the numbers at the 5-yard line. So that'll probably be the last play of the third quarter, and it is, for sure. Now they whistle it. And so we have finished 3 with Florida State leading by 6. And we'll be back after this message and the word cooked up. Yep, Edgar Bennett Bounces, headed for the corner, won't get there. Taken down and out of bounds by number 31, Darrell Williams at the 3.
Yeah, Bowden didn't want to take any chance to turn the ball over. Wants to get the 3 points at least out of this situation. Third quarter dominated by Florida State. Total yards 159 to 38. They ran 22 plays to Miami's 10.
If he gets his 3 here, that gives him a 9-point lead.
Yeah.
Then I think his offensive thinking conceivably could change. I don't know if it will or not, but it's possible. Here's the kick up. Nailed it. So Jerry Thomas becomes a major persona in this game with his 3rd field goal. And we'll zip up the coast to New York. Darrell Spencer 35, and they both come creeping up. Williams is going to get this one. He's got it at the 17. And they take him down at the 29. You look at Florida State's scoring drive as Miami starts its possession here, and I should point out that Miami has been inside the Florida State 35 the last 4 times they've had the ball. They've been intercepted, missed a field goal, and punted.
Yep.
Stephen McGuire lines up in the backfield. Gino Torretta. Short underneath the linebackers, McGuire. And he's down at the 36, and that'll be a 7-yard pickup as Levon Brown, the strong safety, makes the tackle.
The Hurricanes only had the ball 1 time the entire 3rd quarter. Florida State dominating that 3rd quarter with 2 drives, one of 13 plays and one of 11 plays, both ending in field goals. So Florida State coming out the second half picks up 6 points on Miami. Miami's got a little bit of a hitch in their giddy-up now. They need to get some moving on.
Torretta 10 out of 20. McGuire runs it and gets his first down. Mark him just over the 40.
McGuire on the 10. Sanders and Brooks make the stop.
Record crowd today at Doak Campbell Stadium. Watching this 35th meeting between these 2 schools. 63,442. That passes the old mark of 63,190 set last year when the Florida Gators were here. Torretta back to the sidelines to Kevin Williams to the 45. Chris Cowart makes the tackle. And the clock stops as he goes out of bounds, and we check in with Jack.
Keith, you know the last time we were here, the kicking game for Florida State, well, it was really a problem. It's changed, but look at one of the new things they've unveiled today. This is a special kicking net. Now, these are the goalposts. What you do is you bring the ball back here, and you've got the right angle to get it through the uprights.
Everything's good except the kicker misses 2 or 3 times. You won't have a whole lot of confidence, and this is a big blow up the middle by McGuire. He had a big hole and then just started running through people, and they don't stop him until he's all the way down to the Florida State 28-yard line. Wow.
Miami's passing game gets all the glitter. It's explosive, but it's the running game that beat Florida State last year. 334 yards on the ground last year, and Miami's doing some business on the ground again here this afternoon.
McGuire has 16 carries for 103 yards, and Larry Jones is in. First down for the Canes, and Torretta to put it up. Throws it underneath, goes to Lamar Thomas. Thomas is down around the 21. Miami showing a little more grit, a little more determination in this possession than they did in the previous one. Second down and 3. McGuire's back now, having had a little blow on the sidelines. Put his wind back. Blitz coming. McGuire popped the tackle at the line of scrimmage. And Leon Fowler finally wrestles him down, but he's got another first down. Kirk Carruthers had a shot at him right on the line of scrimmage, but he ran right through it. So McGuire really pounding hard. Ball resting just short of the 13. First down for the Canes.
Here they come.
Checked off.
Yep.
Penalty. They take him down. Carruthers, creeping around, suddenly winds up eyeballing Torretta and Gino
Miami.
All right, first down and 15 for Miami. In the fourth quarter. 9-point lead, Florida State. Torretta's passes away across the field and out of bounds. Incomplete. He was looking at Horace Copeland. That'll make it second down and 15. Torretta now 12 of 23, 115 yards, 2 interceptions. You see there compared to what Casey Weldon has done.
And 4 quarterback sacks. He has not had the luxury of sitting back there and looking around for very long. That play, another blitz was on. He had to get rid of it. Didn't have time to wait.
Second down, 15. Slips. Carruthers gets him. 5 sacks. And the ball comes back across the 25.
Here's Carruthers out here. The linebacker is going to slide to the inside, kind of sneak in here. Gino's going to go back, look downfield. The back, number 30, McGuire, sees him. Just does a poor job of blocking him. That's at least the second sack today for Carruthers.
Third down and 22. Ball out just over the 25. Another timeout. Charge to Miami. 10:26 to play in the ball game. They have 1 left.
You got to get at least 3 points on this drive.
They got him back at the 27. 6 sacks. Simpson did it this time.
They're just blitzing him, Keith. The inside linebacker is here. The cornerback is here. They're both going to be coming along with all the other defensive guys. Jones picks him up. That time, Torretta steps around. They need 3 points.
Werder from 45 yards out. Plenty of leg, and he got it. Carlos Huerta. 9:48 to play now. And it's a 6-point game. 16-10, Florida State. It's one of those games that everybody will be sore 2 weeks after this one. Amp Lee bouncing outside. Goes from nothing to almost 6 yards before Darren Smith brings him down.
What has happened in the second half that the running games have taken over the football game. The defense has dominated the first half both ways. The second half, nobody's throwing the ball. Everybody's starting to run the football, and we've only had 4 possessions. Florida State had 2 possessions, both of over 10 plays. Miami has had 2 possessions, both were 10 plays, and mainly on the ground.
Stephen McGuire for Miami and Amp Lee for Florida State, the big offensive people. This is Lee again. First down if they give him where the ball went down, and looks like they're going to. Lee, with adding that 4 yards to it, would have 73 yards on the ground and 48 yards. But it was a 51-yarder he caught.
Florida State seems to own the second half. It's amazing that Mancini is back in there. He has not played in any of the games the last 3 or 4 weeks. Supposedly a torn ligament in his knee. Put the brace on and start practicing this week, and he's in there.
Clock running at 8:40. Weldon gives it off to the first man, Edgar Bennett. 2 yards on the carry. Second down and 8 coming up. Poses something somewhere. Some spot to a clever guy like a Weldon. Fine. Back on the sideline. He hurt that ankle back in the second quarter. Here's Weldon throwing the ball.
It's a lateral.
That's a lateral. That's a lateral. That's a lateral. the official on that side is waving it off as an incomplete
Well, he was
pass.
blowing his whistle.
That means since he has blown his whistle, the play is dead, but that was a lateral pass. It was thrown behind the receiver. Now watch it.
The ball is tipped.
Deflected. Okay.
All right, all bets are off.
Didn't see it.
Good call by the linesman.
But once he's blown that whistle, it's dead anyway.
That's true.
So put the ball on the 32, make it 3rd down and 8. Is this where you run your ace in the holes? Is where you throw your gimmick?
You try to pick up a first down, whatever your best play is. I don't think you're going to pull any gimmicks out in this situation.
That is not caught. Weldon kind of threw that one into a crowd. Shannon Baker was kind of out in front, but there was plenty of coverage.
Keith, in the second half, as you look at the pass protection that Weldon enjoys here, the simple fact of the matter is that the defensive backs are better than the wide receivers in the second half. They're knocking the ball loose. They're covering man-to-man. They're not getting open.
Williams is back. Player gets some heat. He just barely got it out. They went after him, and the ball is...
He can run.
He can run it. He batted it right to him. Now, the beanbag was thrown back there at the 40, and Kevin Williams winds up with about 2 more yards than that out to the 42. So now here's the Miami Hurricanes. They trail by 6 points. They own the football at their own 42-yard line. They've got 7 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this ball game. And they are a homer-hitting club.
They have plenty of time left on this drive. They've got over 7 minutes. If they don't do anything on this drive, when they get it back the next time, they only have 1 timeout left.
Right. These guys love to go vertical. Question is when they have tried to do that today, there's been a whole lot of folks wearing garnet.
The whole concept here, as we look at this discussion, which I don't know what it's about.
Yard line. Here comes what one would sense to be a very important possession in this ball game. Toretta straight back. Heats on. Carruthers first man to hit him. 7 sacks. Here's Roger. I think all have frostbite, but I guess when you're young. Ball is back near the 37. Toretta looking around, lobs it downfield for Bell. That's a good catch. Beautifully touched pass.
Great catch, huh?
Oh.
Coverage was there. Toretta finally threw this one away. Instead of taking the sack, he just threw it up high. Bell is 17. It's a slow block. Fuller, McCorvey, 26. He doesn't see the ball. And then Bell uses his height to go up and catch it. That's a big boost, big play for the confidence of Gino Toretta.
First down for the Hurricanes at the Seminole 41. 6:10 to play in the game. McGuire. They put him out at the 33. Leon Fowler put a shoulder into it. McGuire has had a big game. And once again, Miami is down knocking on the door. McGuire totaling 119 yards in the ball game.
Well, the Seminole defense is not giving Gino Toretta time to throw the ball, but on the ground, the Hurricanes are getting something done. Look at McGuire.
Second down, long 2. McGuire's got it. Runs right over a man. Takes it all the way down to the 15-yard line. I mean, he just flat ran over Leon Fowler.
Take a look at the offensive line now. Just a stretch. Everybody stays on the man in front of him. That creates a gap. Searcy, 73, got a cut block on the defensive end, which created a little crease. McGuire saw the crease, cut back, and a big play.
All right, they put the ball down at the 16. First down, Miami. Blitz coming. Beretta gets it off. It is incomplete. It was intended for Lamar Thomas.
If he would have had that ball down where Thomas could have caught it, Buckley would have intercepted it.
Terrell was right there. This is the 6th straight time that Miami has been able to get inside the 35-yard line of Florida State. But so far, in those 6 possessions, only 3 points. Their touchdown came in the very first possession of the ball game. McGuire, oh, he ran into number 55, Marvin Jones. I thought he stopped rather abruptly the way he's been running over people. That's why it's Mr. Jones.
They had been blocking Marvin Jones pretty well in the second half.
He got 3. It's third down.
Bowden has taken away the big play offense of Miami and forced them to run the football.
This is a very long 6, close to 7 yards. Beretta's pass. Kevin Williams fell down. Richard Coase was sort of looking around to see if there was a yellow flag coming. Is it Coase or Knight?
It's Knight, 13.
Knight, yeah.
The coverage is there. The route isn't that good. He rounds it off. You can't throw a ball out there. Knight may cut in front of him. Canes are going for it on 4th down.
16-10 ball game. And on 4th down, the Canes are going for the bundle. Beretta back quick, lets it go. Pass is complete. Pass is caught. Pass is good for a first down and goal to go at the 3-yard line to Horace Copeland. That's his first catch of the day.
Top of the screen, Copeland on Buckley. Is that a big catch or what? First catch of the day. Buckley tries to pull him back. No blitz this time. Quick passing. Plenty of time to throw it.
So on 1st and goal, here's McGuire back in the ball game. He has it. Maybe a yard from the 3 to the 2. And it'll bring up 2nd down and goal, and the time so precious now at 4 minutes. Florida State took the lead in the 2nd quarter. Built it to 16-7. Miami cut it to 16-10. And now they're threatening to regain the lead. McGuire, a half a yard. Nothing fancy here. Just plain old jawbone football.
It's interesting that these two teams came into the ball game, both big-time offensive powerhouses. And it's gotten down to a defensive struggle where both teams are running the football.
It is 3rd down. They're at least a yard and a half, close to 2 yards away from the goal line with Jones in the backfield. Larry Jones, he has it. He's got a touchdown. Miami has scored. Watch your snap.
Medeiros. backup snapper.
The kick by Huerta is good. Tom Patterson was the snapper. He went out, you saw, with a strained knee. Medeiros does this backup snapping. It wasn't terribly clean, but it was well handled by the holder and put in the air by Huerta. Good. And Miami leads 17-16.
It's been a long day. A lot of guys fighting, scratching. It all comes down to who wants it the most. It's not the white paint, it's the yellow line for the touchdown.
Well, McGuire does most of the heavy head knocking. And what got down the case is they needed the fresh legs of Jones, and he stuck it in the end zone. You got 3 minutes and 1 second to play in the game now.
Well, take a look at the left side of the offensive line. 72 is Cristobal. 17 is Cole. Bell, I mean.
All right, Miami with a 1-point lead will kick it off now, leading 17-16. Those are the games that are coming up. This one is running long. We've got 3 minutes to play as number 1 Florida State now trailed down to 1. They give it to Ant Lee, and he cuts back in to pick up the first down up at the 33. They'll move the chain and stop the clock at 2:49. In timeouts, Florida State has 2. Casey Weldon looking to the sidelines. They wind the clock on him. Now he's got to get his team up to the line in a hurry and get it going. 2:40 to play in the game. They trail by 1. Weldon's pass again to the sidelines. It is caught at the 44-yard line by Eric Terrell. Almost slipped away. There just wasn't room for him to make the turn.
One of the favorite plays of FSU. I formation, tight end down the middle, and the wide receiver runs an out. McNeil, 47, had some ideas about going for the interception.
First down at the 44 for Florida State. Weldon now 15 of 23, 196 yards. They got him back at the 40. Nobody available. That's 5 sacks by the Miami defenders today.
Well, we just showed you on the last replay how McNeil...
Edgar Bennett. And Bennett moves it up to the 47. Looked like he might be able to pop outside, but Jesse Armstead penetrated some of the blocking. None of those games have started yet.
They have just started, Keith, and there's no score in any of them.
Yep.
But the critical thing here, it's a 4-down area for Florida State. They need to pick up 7 yards in the next 2 plays. They'll go for it on 4th down, obviously, if they don't make it here.
Now we go inside 2 minutes. And it's 3rd down and 7. Number 1's trailing by a point. They don't have it yet. Edgar Bennett reaching for it to the 46-yard line of Miami. Ryan McNeil trying to hold him. It's close.
He went out of bounds, but I couldn't see from the players over here on the near sideline. Big effort.
Precious time is ticking away here.
It's going to be 4th down and about half a yard.
Play very, very, very slow coming in from the sidelines, and it's going to force Florida State to spend their last timeout. They wasted 30 seconds and then finally called timeout. You got 1:15.
They'll probably run something to pick it up.
They only need about a half a yard. They give it to Bennett. Bennett bounces off the pile. He's still going and is finally thrown down around the 40-yard line. So that'll be a first down for the Seminoles. Clock stops when the chains are moved. That used 5 seconds. Jerry Thomas has now started to warm up. Dan Mowry has been warming up for Florida State. And the man hurt is Rusty Medeiros for Miami. Medeiros, who has been a very prominent figure today in the defensive effort by the Miami Hurricanes. That's Mowry 9. Thomas is 15.
Mowry was the field goal kicker earlier in the year. Missed a whole bunch of extra points and some field goals. In fact, Bowden says, I don't know what we'll do because that was the weakest area of our team if and when we get into a close ball game. Well, they're in one now, and Mowry kicks the long ones and Thomas the shorter ones.
With as much pressure as you have in this ball game, but right now you need a steel stomach to go out there, and Rusty Medeiros from the Ozarks is going to have to leave. He looked like they might have been working on his hip. Couldn't tell, but he's obviously in no position.
His field goal kickers have been his problem all year.
Ampley slipping and sliding and will get a couple of yards to the 16, and that's all as Jesse Armstead takes him down.
You know, even though Bowden has made 3 field goals today, I'm sure he still feels a little bit insecure in sending a young man out there in a big game like this to win it when the national championship may be on the line.
Clock is running and coming up on 35 seconds. Weldon runs up behind the center. Looks like he wants to throw this ball on the ground, and he does. Now he's got 29 seconds. Now he's looking at 3rd down and 9, but at least he'll have a chance to get a play from the sideline. This absolutely drives me crazy. I don't know why that quarterback can't just go ahead and call the play. How much time is wasted. Jerry Thomas is number 15. It's up. Missed it to the right. Field. They're going to be penalized for it, but so what? I'm sure is their attitude, because they have just dodged a howitzer. So Bobby Bowden is about to go 5-11 against Miami. They led most of the ball game. So the Canes in the 4th quarter stuck it in the end zone. And then this chance to win for Florida State. He had enough leg. But he couldn't pull it back inside. It's on the wrong side of the uprights. Now close to Florida State, 16. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Stephen McGuire of Miami, 22 carries, 142 yards, caught 4 balls for 27 yards. For Florida State, Marvin Jones, linebacker, 12 tackles, 1 interception. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and assist those in financial